Once was the time there was one of the young men in the village. He was struggling with the issue of being in a position of forgetting all the bad memories. He would constantly think about the same subject repeatedly if someone mentioned something towards him, or if something was wrong for him, he would think about the incident throughout the day. The same thoughts would keep circling throughout his head all the time. The next thing he'd do was beg God or curse his luck for a bad thing that had occurred in his life. He would think of getting revenge on the person who did something wrong, or had done something wrong to him as a result of his overthinking behavior. He did not have excellent relationships with others and was unable to perform any task effectively, as he was always under a lot of stress or mental turmoil. The state of his mind. A friend suggested the idea that a Zen master was in a nearby Buddhist monastery, so if you visit him, he'll definitely provide an answer to your mental problem. The young man visited the Zen master and explained the issue to him. He spoke about his thoughts about the same thing repeatedly and could not forget the negative memories. After listening to the young man's concerns but not providing any solution, the Zen master stood up and left the monastery, leaving him there like the young man felt somewhat odd, but stood there waiting for him come back after a short time. The Zen master returned with an empty glass of water in his hands. The Zen master walked in and sat next to the young man likewise stood before him. The Zen master was holding an empty cup of water inside his hands. He straightened his arms and asked the young person to what the glass weighs. The young man replied, "I'm unable to determine precisely, but the amount that this course carries is tiny, according to the Zen master." "That's all right now. My question is what happens if I keep this glass this way for a single minute?" Stated that nothing would happen. The Zen master replied that it's fine now. "What if I held the glass for an hour?" The young man asked, "Master, your arm and hand will begin to ache." The master said, "Okay, now what happens when I held that glass in an entire day?" The young man replied, "Master, your arm might be numb. You could need to swear off muscle tension and paralyzes you, and you may need to visit the hospital." The Zen master stated that it was great, but did the glass's weight change? Man asked if the weight didn't change. Then why did their arm pain and a discomfort in the muscles? Boy remained silent. "What can I do to relieve this discomfort?" Zen master asked him again, and the man replied, "Master, it's simple, just put the glass down." Zen master replied, "Exactly the message I was hoping to hear." He then put it down and said, "Can see that my son's daily challenges are similar to the ones that people are too focused on issues in life. If you can keep the issue in your mind for a few minutes and then let it go, you'll feel like all is well. However, if you keep thinking about it for longer than a few minutes, you'll begin to feel the effects, and if you think about it for a long time, it will begin to hurt you, and you'll be overwhelmed with anxiety, depression, and stress. You will be unable to focus on anything else. If you observe it in your lives, we will discover that we all face challenges in our lives. However, this doesn't mean that we think of it every single time, but it is essential to learn from your previous mistakes and continue to move forward in your life. If you are constantly thinking about similar things to drinking water from a glass, will only bring pain to your life. Moral of the story: it is important to take the time to let go of all your worries regardless of what happens in the day. At the earliest point in the evening, as you are able to lay your worries away, don't carry them into the evening and into the next day if you are still feeling the burden of yesterday's stress. This is an indication your time to take a step back and put your bottle down.